I'm Rose from Growing Rose Development Pantry, and it's a treat. I got Promise behind the camera today. So we are going to make a very simple, very easy ground beef casserole. It's going to be gluten-free, sugar-free, and it calls for 1 large onion, and I've already cut half of it, but you can see it was a pretty big onion. So, and it wants it finely diced, so I just cut in an onion this big. I cut 2 little slits in it, and then I just take my knife and I go through the onion like this, and that dices it real fine. Now if you just want a chopped onion, you don't have to do it like this, but I want it real finely diced, and as you can see, it's real fine. So all right, and always tuck your fingers under, that way they don't get cut. Okay? And 1 large onion is like 1 cup, because this is 1 cup measure. Okay? And I've already got my mozzarella cheese. Can't talk this morning. Ooh, it's supposed to be a Vidalia onion, but this is a strong onion, y'all. It is burning my eyes. Woo! Some Vidalia onions are not strong, and then you get some and they're potent. Okay. Now, Promise, if you'll come over here, I've got some pasta on cooking right here, and this is going to be penne pasta, and I'm just going to cook it till it's al dente. I've got salt in my water, and I've got a little olive oil in there, and that's just to keep my pasta from sticking together. And I'm about to turn my beef on. Now this is, and I've showed y'all this before, this is gluten-free penne pasta right here. And I did it from Aldi's, and it's made with organic brown rice and quinoa. What we really like is the one made with soybean, but I haven't found the penne pasta or the rotini pasta or macaroni noodles in the soybean. All I found is the spaghetti. So it's put out by Live Free, and it comes from Aldi's. And I always keep my little bag in there so I can always read the directions. And because I'm putting it in the oven today, and so I can show y'all the bag that it comes in. Because I'm cooking it in the oven today, I am only going to cook it till it's al dente. That's about 7 minutes. It says cook it 8, 9, 10 minutes, but I'm only cooking it 7 minutes today because it's going in the oven. So, okay, Promise? And it's been cooking about, I'm going to let it cook about 1 more minute. I've got a pound of ground beef. Well, it may be a little bit more than a pound, but it's around a pound of ground beef in my saucepan right here. And I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon. Now, this is pink Himalayan salt. ½ teaspoon of pepper to this. And this is when I add my onions. That's 1 large onion. Now, it doesn't call for it, but I'm putting peppers. This is a ½ cup of orange and yellow sweet bell pepper, because we like bell pepper, and we like it in casseroles, and it just makes it healthier. Promise, I almost failed. I got a little step stool down there because I'm so short, I can't reach in my cabinets. And she was backing up like this, and she backed into my step stool. So, a malfunction here in the kitchen this morning. That's okay. Okay, now once this gets almost done, I'm going to add some minced garlic. And y'all, I had some fresh garlic in the refrigerator the other day. It's the kind you buy in the little pack. It's already peeled and everything. And it was beginning to go bad. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stick this in the freezer. So I put it in the freezer. Well, I usually grate my garlic instead of mincing it. I usually grate it, and it grates so good frozen. I took it straight out of the freezer and grated it up, and it worked so well. I'm fixing to drain this because this is ready. And I'm just going to let it sit in the sink. I'm going to turn this burner off. This is beginning to cook. So I'm going to let it cook till my ground beef gets done, gets all the pink is out, and my onions and peppers are done. And then we're going to come back, and this is my homemade marinara, sugar-free, that I do. And we're going to add basil, Italian seasoning, and mozzarella cheese. It's going to be a really simple, and y'all know I grate my own cheese. It's going to be a really simple, easy casserole. So we'll be back in a few minutes. My peppers and onions and ground beef. I'm having to talk louder because the battery went out on my mic, and so I'm having to talk louder. So I'm really not hollering. Well, I am kind of hollering. But now I'm going to put my garlic, my 2 cloves of minced garlic, and my ground beef. And you don't want to put it in too early because it will burn. All you want it to do is just have a very fragrant, good garlicky taste. So you don't cook it very long. You don't brown it or anything in with your meat. Okay. Now, I've already got my penne pasta over here. This is a 9 by 13 dish. And this is supposed to be 1 pound of pasta, but I don't measure. I just put it in my pot. So it's about 1 pound. Okay, now to this, I am going to add, it calls for 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, but I'm putting 2 teaspoons because we like Italian seasoning. All right, now I'm going to turn my burner down a little bit. I had turned it up to try to cook some of that grease out, and I had about this much, so I just took a little dipper and I dipped it out. Okay, now I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of basil. All right. Now we'll stir this up well. Now, this is my homemade marinara sauce. It calls for 25 ounces. This is a quart. So, and I don't want it to be dry, so I'm going to add the whole quart. Now, this was my no sugar added homemade marinara. Promise to get in here. Look how rich. Ooh, look at that. And I've got a recipe on my channel of homemade marinara. Y'all can just go back and look it up, because it is so good, y'all. It is well worth it. All right. I'm telling you, this is easy. It comes together very quickly. All right. Now, I'm going to turn my burner off. I'm going to put this in my pasta. I've got my penne pasta in here, and I'm going to add my sauce to it. And I'm doing it like this so I don't make a mess. And it looks like there's more sauce than what will go in this pan. We'll see. Okay. Maybe it will go. We're going to try it. Oh, sorry. I'm talking down, and I know y'all can't hear me. So, now I'm going to stir it up. I'm going to get a spoon. Stir this up. And it says put mozzarella on top of it, but y'all know me and cheese. I always like some in my casserole because I just don't want it on top. And I've got my oven set at 375 degrees. Ooh, promise. I'm I'm gonna try to get all this, okay? I hope it doesn't overflow in the oven, y'all. Maybe it won't. All right, I'm gonna stir it up real good. This looks so good, y'all. And it's so easy. Some of my pasta kind of stuck together. Okay. I'm gonna put some more cheese. It's a good thing Roy's not in here. He'd be calling me down on the cheese. Y'all know how he is. He'll say, honey, now that's enough cheese. That's enough cheese. All right. I've got it stirred up real well. Now, ooh, that looks good. All right. I'm going to top it with more mozzarella. Now, mozzarella cheese is all it called for. So, I'm going to grate a little bit more. It calls for 1.5 cups. But this is a little bit more than 1.5 cups. This is probably 2.5 cups. Because if I'm going to have a pasta dish, I want it to have a lot of cheese in it. Now this is kind of crumbly because I froze it. If I find cheese on sale, I'll buy it and put it in the freezer. And it does make it a little crumbly, but hey, I'm going to melt it anyway, so. All right. Now I'm going to put the rest of this in there on it. And I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for, it says 15 to 20 minutes until it gets bubbly. But I want my cheese to brown a little bit. So I may leave it in there 25 to 30 minutes. We'll see. All right, it's going in a 375-degree oven. And I'm going to set it for 20 minutes. And then we're going to see if it's ready. Be back in a few minutes.